Your brain is made up of 85% water, okay? And there's a reason why that you retain a lot of water within your head, right? Water head, okay? Your eyeballs is 95% water, okay? So water retains consciousness because it allows you to know and understand how the outside universe is operating because you understand that water flows freely amongst the land, been here since the beginning of time. So how do you grow and pass on knowledge and information? Well, you pass it and you send it into the water, okay? Because the universe moves through waves and frequencies and vibrations, right? Water holds a polarity, a polar charge to it, right? It's either slightly negative and slightly positive, okay? So which makes it able to bond to any and everything just about, right? Makes it a universal solvent. So when you get into this water, right, I want you to understand that because your body is largely made up of water, this is a communication to the outside world, right? And it starts in your brain. See right here, this area right here is your pituitary gland. You have anterior and a posterior pituitary gland. This posterior pituitary gland reserves water rights for the body, mainly the brain, first and foremost. The brain gets first priority on water. So when water enters the body, it has to go to the brain first, right? That cerebral spinal fluid that's flowing all through the brain, right, has to be a pH at least 7.3. Okay, has to be alkalinized. Okay, because it needs the minerals and the ions to actually transmit signals all across back and forth throughout the brain. Okay, so the pituitary gland, which is the master gland, controls all the secretions of those endocrine glands throughout the body. Okay, it's the master gland. So that shows one of the major factors and points of having water. So now this water that rushes up and is operating in the brain flows into this third ventricle area. All right, this third ventricle area is your pineal gland. All right, the pineal gland regulates sleep and wake cycles. Okay, all right, so it produces melatonin. All right, which promotes sleep. All right, so it doesn't endorse it, it promotes it. What I mean by promotes mean that when you are in bed at a certain time, you are able to get into that deep sleep rhythm, okay? Because everything on the universe is shut down basically at that point in time. So when you're moving in harmony with the universe, then you are in line to be healed, to be centered, to be on homeostasis, to be balanced. Okay, this is the nature of what we are supposed to be, because anytime we're unbalanced, then we get diseased. All right, we're uneasy, and then we get diseases. Okay, because we're not operating at a high enough frequency. All right, and that's where you get a lot of these tones and so forth that are starting to come out now because people are operating at low frequency levels, right? And I'm gonna show you that actually through frequencies right here with this visible light spectrum. Okay, gamma rays, X rays, ultraviolet. You can see the frequency of these waves. Right, this is the frequency in between. Right, so in between here is the frequencies, and you can see how fast that that they occur. Okay, so within those frequencies, it starts to slow down the further you get. The lower the frequency, right, the more opportunity you give for opportunistic organisms to wake up. Okay. Um, let's see this. Okay, right. So the visible light, because light slows down when it changes mediums. Okay. So just like when light enters, ultraviolet light shines and enters into a prism, it reflects the colors of a rainbow. Well, raindrops can do the same thing. Okay. And when they fill the sky up at a certain point, when you can look through those the refraction of light hitting through those raindrops, it'll show you the spectrum of a rainbow, right? Because light slows down and refracts once it breaks the medium of the water. Okay, so in your eyes, it operates basically the same exact way. You have your cornea right here, okay, which is the outside part of your eye, and then you have your iris. In between that space in between your iris and your cornea is the aqueous humor. Okay, the aqueous humor is slightly alkalinized water. Okay, meaning that it has a pH of about 7.3 as well. Okay, and it keeps your eyeball clean. It keeps it all the trash and the junk and stuff in it, the cells. It keeps them flushed out, and it keeps it, clear. Okay. Also in this back part right here, this is called your vitreous humor. Okay, your vitreous humor, all that is water. All that white space right there, all that's water. Okay. What that does, once again, like I said, once light breaks through, okay, and it breaks through that surface, it then refracts light. Now it slows it down, which makes the light visible, which allows you to see those spectrums of light. Okay. Now those spectrums of light hit the rods and cones of the back part of your eyes. Okay. Those rods and cones from the back part of your eye then hits these retinal vessels. These retinal vessels then goes down through your optic nerves. Okay. That optic nerves then travels right here through your optic chiasm. Okay. That optic chiasm has an area right here that's called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Okay, where there's rods and cones within that chiasmatic nucleus. Okay, so it also reflects light. Okay, that has came from your optical lenses. Okay, now the importance of this is that this regulates the biological clock. Okay, your biological clock. This is what it's set to. Okay, this is the thing that wakes you up before the sun comes up in the morning. Okay, same thing that happens to the roosters, right? Other animals, they know when to get up because they're in sync. Okay, with the universe. Nobody tells them that. They're in tune with the seasons. Well, you have that same ability. Okay, but it's hard to get it if you're dehydrated. All right, because if you're dehydrated, then none of this is functioning properly, or is it not functioning as efficiently as it should be. Okay, so this suprachiasmatic nucleus sends a signal, right, that has to correspond to the rest of the body. And when I say that, it means it has to let all the cells know that it is time for business. Okay, so it's just like going to a shopping center and so forth, and only a couple stores are open. You want to make sure that all the cells are operating and that they know what day and what time it is, okay? So that suprachiasmatic nucleus allows the body to know what day and what time it is, basically, right? Because it has to be open for business. You want your body to operate at optimum levels, right? So that's the responsibility of reflecting what goes on the outside to what goes on the inside. So now this sends a relay signal all the way to the pineal gland, okay, which allows the body to actually know whether or not it's in sleep or wake cycle, right, to regulate that. So now my suggestion is actually what this actually does is that this pineal gland is basically like a switch, okay, that powers the body from solar power and then takes it off of solar power during the daytime and then uses the battery power to run at night, okay? And I believe that that's what that operates off of largely. Once the sun goes down, you start operating off of your pineal gland, okay? And that's sending the message that's saying, hey, look, we're running off of battery power right now. And then when that battery power gets depleted, then you become tired. Okay, and then that's when the sleep cycle and all those different things awaken in the body, releasing enough melatonin to actually charge up your cells again and get you ready to get back out and re-energize for the next day. All right. think I touched on a little bit of everything. And, we'll get back into it a little bit more in depth. All right. Just remember, the light of the body is the eye. And if therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Okay? Whole body should be full of light.